Hi, my name is Concepcion Olvera, and today I will be talking to you about the membranes of the thoracic and abdominopelvic cavities. Let's start off by talking about the serous membrane, also known as the serosa. It lines the walls of the thoracic and abdominopelvic cavities. The serous membrane separates the parietal layer from the visceral layer. The visceral is the inner layer that covers the organs, while the parietal is the outer layer that covers the wall of the body cavity. So we can see that in green, we have the serous membrane, both in the thoracic and abdominopelvic cavities, and it's in green. Around the heart, we have the pericardial membrane, which protects the heart. We can see that the visceral pericardium is the inner layer of the pericardial cavity. It's the one that lines the heart. Then we have what's the outside layer, the outer layer being the parietal pericardium. In between, we have the pericardial cavity, which surrounds the heart and is filled with serous fluid or pericardium fluid, and that will be in here. So we have the visceral being the inner layer, the parietal being the outer layer, and the pericardial cavity filled with serous or pericardium fluid. Next, surrounding and protecting the lungs, located in the left and right of the thoracic cavity, is the pleural membrane. As well as this one, we can see the viscera being the inner layer, the outer layer being the parietal, and in between we can see the pleural space or pleural cavity, which is filled with pleural fluid or serous membrane. Again, the visceral is the inner layer, being blue. The parietal being the outer layer, being in red. And in white, we have the pleural space, filled with pleural membrane. Lastly, we have the peritoneal membrane in the abdominopelvic cavity that protects organs such as the liver, stomach, pancreas, spleen, gallbladder, intestines, kidneys, bladder, and reproductive organs. You can also see the visceral peritoneum being in blue, which is the inner layer. All around is blue, which is the visceral peritoneum. Then we have the outer layer being the parietal peritoneum that is in red. It is in red, and in the space inside we see yellow, and that's the peritoneal cavity, and is filled with peritoneal fluid or serous fluid. Well, that concludes my presentation, and lastly, here are my sources. Thank you.